Since it has been a while, let me jump you back in time and remind you where we're at with the McLaren. On June 4th, we sent the McLaren to the paint shop for what I was told to be a 2-week job. What I thought would be a nice 2-week break to order parts, repair miscellaneous parts for the McLaren, and fix a motorcycle in the meantime turned into a 2-month facepalm waiting for any kind of an update on the car. 3 weeks in, I began going to his shop to start working on the car to help speed along the process however I could. Buckle up, because this is the full story.
All right, you guys, I just got to the shop. It feels like an absolute eternity since I've seen this thing last. Here she sits after 3 weeks. So anyway, my main goal today is to cut out these holes for the bumper, the parking sensors, and I also need to get the door panel off so I can get this trim off, take the mirror off as well, and have this door ready to get sanded down, repaired as much as it needs to be, and then he's gonna spray into the door as well. I'm also hoping to solve these small panel gaps that aren't perfect from my installation with Mike. Hopefully he can help me out with some of that stuff. And we still do need to get the hood straightened out just a little bit as well. It's not awful, but it does need to be tweaked to be, just right. So let's get to work. Guess I'm gonna start with the door panels. Might as well just knock that out first. So let's get to it. See if this thing still freaking works. Looks like it. Man, done this a million times, so let's just do it again. This time, just gonna time myself, might as well. Starts now, let's do it. Also, I forgot to tell you guys, it's like 110 degrees today. Not the most fun working environment, but is what it is. What the freak? I don't have a single flathead. All right, 8mm bolt first. Freaking seriously. Didn't bring a magnet, did I? All right, second 8mm bolt. Okay, just drop the freaking bit in the door. Are you serious? I don't have another one. I don't have a magnet. Are you freaking serious? Not making that mistake again. Found another one, luckily. Thank you. Freaking really. All right, one door panel. Let's see how long that took me. Under 11 minutes. That's what I'm talking about, dude. Let's go. Now that the door is disassembled, we finally get to move on to something I have been anticipating since I got the car. That is peeling the PPF off this thing. You guys may remember that this entire car is PPF'd, so all of the paint underneath should be completely spotless. But we get to finally find a corner and let's just get to peeling. We get to peel this entire door off, see what the damage is. There are some cracks on this door, that's why we're removing the PPF right now. See what the damage is. See what it'll take to repair and then get this thing painted and finally finished up. I'm hoping that we don't need like crazy heat guns or anything for this, but it looks like it's coming off nice and smooth. Let's go. Let's freaking go. Kind of. But I'm sure this is very old PPF. I have no idea when this was installed. Coming off in little chips, but I think also because right here, it's a little bit cracked from the damage. Looks like we're gonna be smooth sailing when it gets to the actual door panel. Easy money. Dude, this paint looks so freaking good. Oh my gosh. Wow, dude. Look at that. Oh yeah, freaking look at that. All right, so this is the spot that has the most damage on the door. It's definitely cracked, you guys can see. Hoping that's just paint. I don't think that's like serious fiberglass damage, but I mean, obviously the door flexed in the accident. And so, I mean, it could easily have cracked the fiberglass, who knows? So we're trying to find out right now, see if there's any structural concerns with this door. It's just a fiberglass shell. It's reinforced underneath. So as long as it looks good and structurally it can hold a little bit of weight, which it obviously can, which makes me think none of this is actually cracked and there's no bad sounds or anything when I push on it. I think we're set to kind of just sand this down, maybe throw some resin over it, a little bit of body filler, and I think we're set to paint this thing. But let's hope we don't need a new door, that's for sure.
So as you can see here, there's 2 layers of PPF on the underside of the doors. It seems to me like the top layer was from the job a shop did several years back, and the bottom layer was probably installed from the factory to protect the doors from common hit points. And man, just look at that paint underneath. I had been waiting to do this for so long, and it definitely didn't disappoint. The paint underneath looked incredible without a blemish on it. Somewhere along the line, someone really liked this car. I'm assuming maybe the first or second owner had it installed, because I can tell the PPF has been on there for a little while since it was starting to yellow. But luckily for us, it wasn't brittle yet, which made it super easy to take off.
Let's freaking go. Look at that. Like a glove. It's the exact right size. Oh yeah, easy money. Like a glove. Let's freaking go. I had to get the holes lined up as much as I could. I had to vice grip the 2 panels together, and then I drilled, and then the drill just right through. And it was thin right here too. I was not expecting how thin that was. The drill basically just went straight through it. Yeah. The little stuff, it honestly doesn't bother me. I know it's not gonna be perfect, and you know, there's a story behind the car, you know. It's like, I rebuilt it, basically DIY in my garage, you know. I'm not expecting crazy results, like perfect show car.
That one was...
That would have been very noticeable. That would have been like,
now it's not
yikes. Yeah. Most ridiculous screw to get out in the world. Oh, there we go. Wow.
So right now in the video, it's easy to lose perspective on how much time is actually passing between these clips. I had sent him the car pretty much ready for prep and paint, but what you're watching right now is deadline after deadline being passed up and me taking a couple hours here, a couple hours there to just go to the shop and speed the process up however I can. In these last few clips, I'm trying to figure out how to charge the AC system in the car, but realized I'd have to start the car for the compressor to kick on, and because the car is smoking and just out of respect, I didn't want to do that. So next up, I tried to fix the fuel filler door in the meantime that stuck closed because McLaren decided to also make that electronically actuated with no manual release, but couldn't figure it out with the tools I had brought over to the shop. So over the next couple weeks, I came and went working on the car as much as I could in the meantime, but when I finished everything I could do and the paint still hadn't progressed, I started to realize this isn't going to get done. And while I'm okay extending the timeline if there's good communication and work ethic, this time was a little different. I came in one day and saw a big line that had been crossed. He lied to me in person a few days prior. This is the panel he said his paint supplier picked up to scan and produce paint from, but it clearly had not been touched. In this shot, you can physically see it on my face. This is the moment I realized this isn't going to work out. So 2 months later, I had to start over once again and figure out paint myself. 2 months earlier when he reached out to me about paint, it seemed like a win-win at the time I chose to trust him with it. This whole time I gave him so much grace, extending every single 2 weeks he said it would be done. I was hoping he'd just take a day and knock it out, but at the end of the day, I think, as the phrase goes, big hat, no cattle. Dude isn't replying to my texts. He also lied about the paint sample. Probably just gonna have to drive this thing out of here and find a new paint shop. Last things that I have to do so far on the checklist is paint, fix the gas cap, recharge the AC system, install a windshield, wrap and install the rear diffuser, install all the fender liners, swap out the spark plugs and ignition coils, patch up the airbag holes for the knee airbags, have to install the exhaust, install the rear wing if I am going to, check oil level, reassemble everything, checking ground wires, and hopefully a ground wire will fix the rear or the passenger side door is unresponsive for some reason. Nothing powers on in the passenger side door. I do have a new door module for it, but it was working just fine before, so it'll take several days to do all that stuff. I'm just really waiting on paint. So yeah, in the meantime, I'm just gonna make his shop a like a service center. I'm just gonna start working on this thing, getting everything I need done. Car week is in 2 weeks. I wanna bring this freaking thing there, but it's just been sitting here for a long time. So it's just a huge rush and I'm just waiting on this thing to get done. So nothing I can do at this point. It's just that time, dude. I can't work on this thing till it's freaking done here, so. Well, guess who I just got a spicy text from? The paint guy. After not replying to my text messages all last week, he sent me a screenshot of my latest Instagram story and said, come get your car. Classy. So I gotta go repossess the McLaren right now, but before I actually head out there to go get the car, I'm just gonna read you all the texts and let you know the story, as it happens. So I'm gonna rewind time really quick. I sent the car to him June 4th, if you guys remember. It was a freaking long time ago, 2 months, over 2 months now. He said, reminder, he said 2 weeks. Once it gets to his shop, 2 weeks, he should be done, no problem. Over 2 months, hasn't touched it. All right, so Monday, July 29th, I was actually at the shop doing miscellaneous stuff you guys just saw on the McLaren. That day, he said the paint supplier is coming to pick up the panel that they're gonna scan with the computer to get the actual paint for us. That was July 29th. So late the next day, I say, hey Mike, any word from the paint supplier? And at this point, they should have already scanned it and got it back to him. No reply. 2 days later, August 1st, I say, hey Mike, just following up with a 100 emoji. Don't want to bother, just hope to get this moving soon. Really need it back this weekend if I have any dream of making it to car week with it. Then on August 5th, 4 days after that, I post an Instagram story. I was basically just telling it how it was. Like I wasn't saying anything bad about the guy, wasn't saying anything good about the guy. In my Instagram story, I said, might have to paint the 650S myself. Really want to make it to car week, but it's just sitting here and he isn't replying anymore. It's literally almost ready to spray. If there's no update in the next couple days, I think I'll be firing it up and rolling home and doing it like everything else I've done on the project. He did not like that. He just texted me a screenshot and said, you can come pick up car. I said, all right, I will come by soon. Really wanted this to work out. And I really did. I just don't understand how he couldn't be excited for this project. Like, he's got a freaking McLaren that's ready to spray the paint, but he lied to me and he's not replying anymore. And now 2 months later, after having so much grace with this guy, literally every 2 weeks, he was telling me 2 more weeks. And I gave him like a hard deadline a month ago, like I need to have it back very soon. And then just weeks and weeks and weeks go by again. I don't understand how he wasn't more excited about this whole opportunity for both of us. Like, he gets a very good public rep
if he does a good job in a decently timely manner. Even if it wasn't a timely manner, like I never say anything bad about anybody ever unless they do an actually bad job on something and like really tick me off in the process. I'm speculating right now that he liked having a McLaren in his shop just for customers that were coming and going. He flexed the McLaren on TikTok already, and I think he just liked it being in the shop. I mean, cheap cars were coming and going in and out of his shop, and the McLaren was literally just sitting there doing nothing. And he knew that it was a paid project too. I told him twice, 2 separate times, like, hey, if I need to like give you money now, like that's totally fine. Just let me know. If I can incentivize you somehow to prioritize the project, I just need it freaking back. That's like what I told him twice, 2 separate occasions. It makes no sense to me why he wouldn't just finish the job. It was less than a day of work. Just boggles my mind that he wouldn't want to just finish it up and have a happy customer that he knows rebuilds cars and needs paint all the time. Like, and he gets a good public rep on the public YouTube series on this project. I don't understand. Anyway, we're rolling out. All right, he wants me to pick up the car, I'm gonna pick up the car. You don't gotta ask me twice on this. Heaven forbid there's accountability for his work. So I'm gonna go head over there in the truck and get all my tools that have been sitting there for a month first. Then I'm gonna go get some slips to drive the McLaren home legally. And we're gonna head over there and just go repossess the McLaren. What a ridiculous situation, dude. I lightly hold the guy accountable and he just flips out. Hilarious. Okay, heading to the paint shop. What an absolute waste of time. This whole thing, what an absolute waste of time. Dude maybe did an hour of work on it tops. He's like test sanded one side of a fender, tried to tweak a couple of body panels. What an absolute 100% waste of time. Hopefully nothing even stupider happens on the way home. Here we are for the last time. Thank the Lord. Wish it was under better circumstances, but boy howdy. Excuse me.
The whole point of taking the car completely apart for paint is the exact opposite of what we have to do now. Get it put back together enough to drive home. To say the least, it was a frustrating experience all the way around and a legendary waste of time on the project that I paid hundreds of dollars for in the form of back fees at the DMV, but still somehow now it just felt right slapping it back together and getting it back home as fast as possible, and I was happy to do it. And please understand, I wish no harm on him or his business. I hugely appreciated that he gave me permission to film the process and hang out at the shop to work on it. I like taking business casually, as we were doing, but there has to be follow through at some point.
All right. All right, well, wow, you guys can see how incredibly dirty this thing is. But we're gonna try to get it home, and if not, we're just gonna have to tow it if I don't feel like it's safe to drive. But we've already driven it a couple times, so I think we'll just send it, and I'll just assume that smoke is from the fuel additive. It probably is, so we'll just take it slow. Everything sounds normal, but you just never know right now. I'm just gonna take it really slow. I'm gonna just go down the street with it to make sure everything's good before we actually get going. Okay. Still says low engine oil pressure. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. And it's not, it just released the code again. I'm gonna assume we're good. Let me see if I can check the oil actually really quick. Not with so many freaking codes. Gosh dang. I know there's oil in there though. So I guess we're just gonna take it slow. I'm hearing a misfire. I'm just gonna get down off the street. Honestly, I'm just gonna get off the street, or to the street. All right, the oil pressure light went away. So I'm just gonna take it to the street and we're gonna just feel it out from here. There is a check engine light and I did feel a misfire. I saw the RPM drop for a split second. All right, I'm gonna pull off right here real quick. Low oil pressure again. When we're actually driving, it doesn't say that. All right, I'm gonna get you on speakerphone. Can I have my wallet? I guess we're just gonna send it. And hopefully nothing explodes.
Is everything okay?
It seems like it's all right. It's a very rattly because everything is disassembled in the car right now.
Right.
So I like listening for the mechanical stuff up front. I can't really tell if it's a rattle from inside or outside.
Yeah. So we're gonna go out, we're gonna make a right.
So sketchy. Yeah, let me call you real quick. If you see something concerning besides smoke, just honk at me and like flash the headlights at me. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, but if just immediately, if I can't hear you, it's gonna be loud in there with the windows down and everything.
You're on speaker.
Okay, great. You're on speaker too. Oh boy, frickin' seriously. Let's do this again. All right, we're in drive. I have no mirrors.
That's fine, I'm right behind you.
Gosh, man, just so nerve-wracking driving this thing anywhere. I'm not sure if that wheel is tight on that side. It feels like a wheel kind of loose.
It's fine.
Oh gosh.
Do you want to pull over again?
Well, we'll just feel it out. When we actually get a green light, we'll just feel it out.
Okay, well, you're gonna make a left and then you'll see.
It's just so sketchy.
Right here.
Oh boy. Yeah. Cool car to drive though. It's just so nerve-wracking. Are you still guiding me?
Yeah, you're gonna go straight. You're gonna go straight.
All right. So much stuff bouncing around on here.
At the stop sign, you're gonna go right.
Oh gosh. Oh, yep, nope, let's stop.
What happened?
Car started jolting and was not running correctly, so maybe we just call a tow now. Huh? All right, let's do it.
Go ahead.
All right, and we're just gonna want as much speed as possible,
Yes,
I
sir.
would think.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's freaking do it. No, not too bad.
Good angle on it.
All right, here we go. And, oh, we're gonna have to hold it too. All right, perfect. Oh, how about that? It just parked itself. That's hilarious.
Just engaged it.
Right when we-
Brakes, and I was like,
It's already, the parking brake's good. Yeah. Oh. Well, the prodigal McLaren returns to our driveway 2 months later, and honestly, I'm happy to have it home, even though it's not painted.
Claire is finally back where she first started, in the driveway. Of course, I really wished paint would have worked out, but this is probably for the best. Based on the amount of effort he put into the project, the paint probably wouldn't have been his best work anyway. I needed the project to keep moving, and it wasn't getting done. To his credit, a lot of other cars came and went from the shop, but not the McLaren. Maybe he was in over his head, I'm not sure. In the end, I'm sure this is a blessing in disguise somehow. Maybe it's just God's way of saying you started the project, you freaking finished the project.
This video I was hoping would be me sitting next to a fully painted McLaren, but I can definitely say I'm happy to have it back after all this drama just in my driveway, and now I can work on it and get it done as fast as I want it to. All that being said, I need 2 things from you guys. All right, first up, we need to get some paint. I'm planning just to probably spray this myself. It's the most cost effective, and I think it's gonna be the best story in the end when I'm telling my kids these stories from 30 years ago. Anyway, this is the panel that is still PPF that was never sent off to his paint supplier. I do have a paint gun and a compressor setup. I need somebody to scan this and give me a ready to spray paint kit. A few of you guys hit me up in the past, I think like a long time ago when I used the aerosol can. A couple of you guys are actually paint suppliers watching this. So I can probably ship you this panel if you want to scan it and send me a ready to spray kit back. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not looking for OEM stuff. I already got a professional quote for the 4322 OEM paint code for this car. It's like a 3-stage color freaking coat, and it was like $1,700 to $1,800 for a couple quarts of it. So I'm really looking for something just close that's a ready to spray color. So please hit me up with this. Also, when we're changing the spark plugs and ignition coils, I realized I ordered a set of spark plugs that is 1 step colder than the OEM ones. So, and those were typically made for tuned vehicles that are pushing 75 to 100 horsepower more than stock. So I think I need to find a tuner when I actually install the spark plugs. I could order OEM ones, but to be 100% honest, the job's already done. So anyway, I'm gonna be looking to tune this car. I'm in Fresno, California area. So if you're in that area, you know somebody who can tune this car for a reasonable price, please hit me up, injamotorcycles@gmail.com. I will be waiting for your responses. So next video, you'll see the spark plug installation. You'll see a new exhaust on it, which I'm about to install right now. Gonna slap potentially a more aggressive wing on there as well, but it did come damaged from China, so